Hello, everybody, guys. Today I'm here with an immensely courageous and respectable woman, Zayna Iman. Now I'm gonna hand it over to you, Zayna, to introduce yourself. Um, but yeah, guys, honestly, it's gonna be I want to actually add a trigger warning before we get into anything. So this episode will contain um, it will cover topics of rape, sexual assault, and drug use as well. But yeah, Zayna, over to you.
Hi, my name's Zayna Iman and I'm 38. And the reason I want to do Natalia's podcast is because she's going to get my message out to all the younger crowd. And it's so important for me to get my story out so it doesn't happen to anybody else.
Yeah, now today I'm not really here, Zaina, to be honest, to go through your story because I myself, since hearing your story just last week, has been replaying on my mind. So I could not imagine for you every time you have to explain it, you're having to relive the trauma. So I don't really want to go too deeply into your story, guys. If you want to find out exactly Zaina's story, you can go listen to a whole podcast that she's made previous to this about the whole entire story. But obviously, just for the viewer's sake, can we get like
A bit of
yeah, a
background.
bit of background,
Right,
just a
so
quick brief one.
in February 2021, Greater Manchester Police detained me for over 40 hours following a check on welfare. So I'm saying that I was drugged and raped at some point during my detainment. Since February 2021, I've been fighting for the the footage, all the footage, and they've withheld some footage. And so I'm going to start from by so if anybody doesn't know my story, so maybe there's only three media outlets that I've spoken to. So if you want reliable information, Channel 4, so Zayna Iman Channel 4, Zayna Iman Sky News, Zayna Iman The Independent newspaper. Everywhere else you're going to be reading my story has ripped off the story from these three sources. The other place that you can get updates directly um, is via my Twitter page at Iman Zayna. But just in case the account gets closed down because I'm being so vocal, I'm going on LinkedIn. Alternatively, if anything happens, I'll be posting updates via.
You know the
Yeah,
vibes.
yeah. So yeah, it's just a very tricky period for me. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't easy speaking out,
Of
but
course, of course.
it wasn't, and I spoke out as a last resort. Okay, and right now, I need everybody's support to keep sharing my story, sharing my story, because they're still trying to silence me. So when they're putting out new statements about what they're going to be doing, the lies. And the mainstream media can't cover it for legal reasons. So
Which
I'm
is, yeah.
resorting to podcasts and the social media crowd to get my story further. It's lies, people. Greater Manchester Police are lying. The IOPC are lying. Andy Burnham is lying. Dame Vera Bird is lying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the only reason, so I've been making my allegations since 2021. I've they've put me through so much, and they've only started taking my allegations seriously since Sky News did that piece about me. Now, the reason why it's so important for me to speak out is tomorrow marks 30 months since my allegations. Let that sink in. 30 months. 30 months. We've got sex offenders working in Greater Manchester Police. If you think I'm the only one that this is happening to,
Reality
no,
check.
people, it's not. And if you think about it, I'm from the Asian community. You know what the Asian community is like. Yeah. And I've bared my soul just to get my voice heard. I've done this for a reason. There's some murky shit happening in Pendleton police station.
Very
And
sinister.
I'm not the only one. Um, and like I said, if my story dies out, they're going to cover it up. They're still covering it up right now because everything that they're posting, they're saying, we just want to reassure the public that we're taking Miss Iman's allegations seriously. You've heard it from me. They're not. They're not. I've got the data to prove it. They're not. They're bigger, they're more powerful than me. So because they're bigger and more powerful than me, they've got more resources. And this is why I'm relying on strangers and just the public, just to keep my voice heard. Like I said, the media have legal restrictions. Social media, to an extent, doesn't have the same restrictions, so I can speak, and I'm making the most of it because I need to keep the traction going. So don't let my voice die out. So me, go on, you. I'll let you
Yeah,
speak.
so obviously this is exactly what, like you said, the media does not let you say, or they cannot legally cover everything. So this is why we're here today. I want you to give us the most realist, rawest version of your stories, and this is a judgment-free zone. You can say whatever you like. Obviously, as much as it is a story, it is nonetheless your life, and I understand that. So if anything
Yeah,
gets too raw, feel
yeah.
free by all means to just skip over that part. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think what people don't realize is, like, so when you're reading my story online, when you're reading the tweets, and when you're hearing me speak, you forget that I'm reliving the
Yeah,
trauma.
exactly.
So it's not easy, but it's something I feel I have to do. Who would put themselves in a position like this unless, do you know what I mean?
It doesn't make sense because
Um,
honestly, you've had to humiliate yourself, Zaina. I'm sorry to
I
say, but
yeah,
you've had to humiliate
yeah,
yourself
yeah.
in front of not just the
No,
UK, the
this
globe, the
right,
globe.
right. So the Sky News segment didn't go national; it went international. But guess what? It's actually, I thought I would absolutely get hammered with negativity. But you know
No,
what, people? 99% of the response to my story has been in my favor, and people have taken me in, and people are rooting for me because they see the corruption.
because
You right,
we
and I'm
know.
telling you, people, you are watching a cover up play out in real time. So I just want to cover me. We met at the
Protest. Yes,
protest.
I attended Zaina's protest in Manchester on the second,
Oh, was it the
the
second?
first. Was it the first? The first
The
of
first,
October.
the
The first of
no,
August. Sorry,
August. Yeah,
October.
you're as fast as me. Right. So the 1st of August, there was a protest organised for me, and I was so scared because I thought nobody's going to turn up for me. I've been on my own for so long, and I looked at the crowd, and it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm looking, I'm thinking, all these people are here for me, you
Yeah,
know, and I can't put into words how much that means because I've been fighting this system myself for so long. And I feel like the cat with 9 lives, no matter what they've done, I've managed to like swerve them. And this is the most important part. I know they're crumbling because there's so much pressure on them right now from the
and
public,
we gonna get you,
from the
GMP.
media.
Don't
Right,
get twisted.
right. So we met on the 1st of August at the Manchester protest, and I actually said, the missing footage I know I'm not going to get. I've been asking for it since February 2021. I know I'm not going to get it. The same day as the protest, the Independent newspaper, the only newspaper that's had my permission to like
To post a story, yeah.
post my story today. So like, because they were nice enough to ask me, Zaina, can we have your story, not nick it off Sky?
Yeah.
You know, they forget that I'm a rape victim. So you know, like everyone's trying to use me like to sell whatever they need to
Yeah,
sell.
so that stories.
So I'm still a human being. So anyway, right. So the same day that I've done the protest, and the Independent article mentioned the witch footage was missing. Right. Listen to this. The very next day, GMP have said the footage that I say that I was drugged and raped in got corrupted. 29 months later, that footage got corrupted. But guess what? Then they're saying, don't worry, an extensive
Yeah.
investigation is underway. Really, people, if you believe that, your brain dead. Yeah, this is a cover up. So then what they've done is we've referred ourselves to the IOPC, and the IOPC are independent of the police. No, they're not. No, they're not. I've been dealing with them since they've known, and they've all known about my allegations, right? And they're only acting now. Ask yourselves why. Because Sky News are backing me 100%. You know what I mean? But they've got
And
legal
so is most of
restrictions.
the nation, to be honest, not
Well,
just Sky
I'm going to
News.
be honest with you. So, like I said, for me, I can't listen to myself talking about stuff like this. The lack of sleep, the pressure and stress I'm under, because I'm under pressure now to keep the pressure on. But I can't keep the pressure on unless the public help me. Okay? And I
100%.
need the public to help me to keep the pressure on. because that's the only way I'm going to beat them now.
Yeah, there's
They're
strength. There's
closing
strength
ranks
in
on
unity.
me. They're closing ranks on me, but because they've got more money than I have and they've got this massive media connections, they've got this massive PR campaign. Oh, we want to reassure Miss Iman and we want to reassure the public that we're doing the best we can, the most extensive investigation. No, they're not. It's a cover-up, people.
They're just
It's
a
a cover-up.
gang. They're one
It's a
big
cover-up.
gang.
And I can't put into words, right? So every statement that they're putting out to the public, I've been collecting data via subject access requests. If you don't know what a subject access request is, please Google it. It's just because we're limited on time. So subject access request, and I've made so many. I've managed to get so much data that they've forgot what data that they've gave me. So everything that they writing and releasing via the press, I've got a document to counteract it. Do you get what I mean? But this is why they're trying to contain and silence my voice, and I need the public to help me raise my voice. I'm so close, and I do fully feel that I could get them, but not alone. They're going to silence me. So like I said, if you believe my story, do the research. Like I said, only 3-4 sources, right? So Sky News, Channel 4, what they covered in their segment,
And the Independent.
and the Independent are the official media outlets, right, that have like genuinely spoke to me and stayed in touch with me. Nobody else has done that. Okay.
So we're talking about the Sun, Manchester Evening News.
I don't trust local press. Do not trust local press. They're like, no, don't trust local press. I've declined to waive my right, well, signed their waiver. So I don't trust local press. I've not gave permission, or they've not asked, other media outlets haven't asked me. But I have said on my Twitter, in terms of social media, because I've come out there, I don't Google myself. I don't watch these things back because I'm
It's
reliving
hard.
the
It's hard for
trauma
you, yeah, of
every time I
course.
do it. So I'm just putting all the information out there. Don't care what people say because I don't want to read the comments, because I don't know what people are writing. I
Yeah.
don't know what the reaction is. But it's not an easy time for me because I've had to resort to waiving my right to anonymity as a victim of rape. I've done that because I was desperate. So nobody does that. If you were
Yeah,
raped, you'd want to keep your
of
anonymity.
course.
And I've made the important decision, and the reason, my main reason why I've made the important decision is, now let this sink in, people. Tomorrow marks 30 months
It's
since
crazy.
my
And nothing
allegations.
has been done.
Over 30 months of cover-ups, and now they're telling me, oh, we're going to help you, Zayna. We're going to investigate. Don't worry, you can trust us. Only because Sky News is chasing them.
Now, for those of you that don't know about obviously Zayn's story, just to like just to really enhance how deep and how severe this situation is, when she left the police custody cell after spending 40 hours with Greater Manchester Police, she had was it
Rectal and vaginal bleeding.
now guys, sorry, someone explain that to me? How where's that gonna come from if for 40 hours prior to that you was just with the GMP? So
Yeah,
like
exactly.
where's that gonna come from?
So my medical records.
That in itself proves that you were sexually assaulted. I'm so confused.
But the thing is, this is the thing, like, everything I'm saying, Greater Manchester Police have not been able to disprove what I'm saying. And so, like I said, on the 1st of August at the Manchester protest, I said, show me the footage, prove me wrong, show me the footage, prove me wrong.
And then, sorry,
I'm blatantly saying that they're rapists.
Can I just add that when she did get the footage that she got, which was how many hours in total? Like 37 hours?
Right, they've sent me 40 odd hours, but they've gave me footage from like times where I weren't even in the cell.
yeah.
So I was in custody on the 5th and the 6th of February 2021. They gave me footage for the 7th.
You know, that's even crazy because I remember exactly what I was doing on the 5th of February 2021 because it was the day after my 18th birthday.
Oh.
So to think what I was doing and what you was doing.
Can you shut up? You're making me feel so old right now.
I know, 18th birthday.
18th birthday. Bloody hell. No, I'm only messing.
But yeah, as I was saying, so they've given her all the footage in non-chronological order just to confuse her, just to make it even harder, to make you spend time, and then to make you maybe even, so you wouldn't realize like,
Right,
look, this is not my footage.
I'm going to be honest, right? So the entire police complaints procedure is designed to break you.
Of course.
Yeah. And I can't put into words. So even though I cry and I'm sleep deprived because I've got so much pressure to keep the pressure on, I'm extremely tough, mate.
No, yeah, of
I'm
course. We
extremely
could
tough.
tell.
But like I said, if my story dies out, this is going to be one hell of a cover up. These officers are still working, and they're going to be raping other people and drugging other people. I'm openly saying it.
And
Do you
it's
get what I
because it's
mean?
true. It's the
Who,
reality of
right?
it.
Who in their right mind would accuse the second biggest police force in England of doing this, mate? Like a single woman, just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not even that. If it was a lie, then why would Zaina not make an allegation against just, a standard, the next Bob John and whoever else you
Yeah.
want to, you know what I mean?
But
Why
can,
would you do it against the police that is so,
yeah.
like, to even try and win that, it's hard. You know what I mean?
And
So,
do you know what scares me the most is how many village idiots does it take to shut up one woman? So we've got Greater Manchester Police, Professional Standards, ICO, IOPC, right? The GMCA, which is the Mayor's Office, Andy Burnham, right? And then there's Dame Vera Baird, who's an ex-victims crimes commissioner, right? And she victim shamed me on
Twitter,
Sky.
yeah. Oh, on
And
Sky.
she addressed, well, yeah, apparently somebody told me, like, I don't watch it.
Oh, I didn't see that, but I saw it on
I
Twitter.
try to avoid watching stuff like this, but I have seen stuff, right?
Yeah.
I try to avoid it, but I have seen stuff. But she addressed me on Twitter in front of the public, and she didn't come to me directly. None of them gave me updates directly until I started telling Sky. No one's giving me updates. Like, and it's when pressure's being put on them, that's when they're acting.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they're like, oh, we can chew her off. Like, no one's gonna know what we did to her. Like, and because Sky put my story out, everyone's taken to my story. And do you know why they've taken to my story, right? It's not because they've been drugged and abused in custody. It's because they relate to my experience. Bad experiences with the police. They might have been abused and not been able to speak out, or when they spoke out and they weren't believed.
Yeah, that's what I was
And
gonna say.
they're relating to me, and they say to me, "You're so brave." I don't feel brave. When I started to speak out, I was desperate. I wanted to I've been raising awareness since 2021, by the way. But when I decided to waive my right to anonymity, which I never wanted to do, I got to a stage where I was desperate.
And that's when you started making progress, though, innit?
Yeah, it's so strange. And I'm not being cocky, right? But I know if I continue keeping the pressure on, I've got
They're
this in
gonna
the
crack,
bag.
yeah, of course.
They're gonna crack.
They are, because you're not alone, Zaina, and it's specifically the guys. This happened at Pendleton Police Station in Salford, and so many complaints have come since then. Now, again, because we didn't mention this part, the thing that shocks me in the story is that Zaina got into so Zaina was high on coke that day, guys. It was lockdown. We all had our struggles during lockdown. Whatever, I mean, the whole of Parliament is taking coke, so who are we to judge? You know what I mean, the next person.
Exactly.
But yeah. So then, by the time she got to the police station, guys, she was knocked unconscious. Who falls asleep on coke? Like, that's the complete opposite of why people take it.
Right. So when I was put in the back of the van, it was 1:59, and there's footage that shows an officer coming into the side of the vehicle.
They've all turned their body cameras off, by the way, guys. By the time they've got her to the van,
well, we don't know that yet. They've just they've given selective footage.
Okay.
So I've made the allegations, right? And the very footage that I accused say that I say I passed out in the vehicle. Nobody passes out on cocaine, right? I passed out in the vehicle when an officer's come in, and I've got the footage for the officer coming in, but not from GMP, from a local business.
Yeah, I've seen the footage.
I've literally gone blank, complete blackout. Like, don't remember anything.
Yeah.
They won't give me that footage. So why won't you give me the footage? You've done nothing wrong. Then they're saying that I arrived at custody at 2:15 on the 5th. There's no footage for 2:15. The first footage that you see is me being carried in lifeless, being
face first on a mat. Yeah, I've seen that.
I could have died the way they've done that.
Horrid.
Did I send you the full strip search video?
No, I've not. I've just seen the clips online.
You guys have seen the edited version. The entire strip search video is 6 minutes long. Remind me to WhatsApp it to you.
Definitely.
Watch it. How brutal they were. I was unresponsive. They're leaning on. Think George Floyd, but on a lifeless woman.
Yeah, because I saw they had someone on your neck, someone on your back, someone on your legs, and there was a male officer present in a room.
Yeah, and then he kind of moved. Like I said, it's weird. Like, so I don't remember the strip search. I had to watch the strip search, and I'm thinking, wow, why are they doing this to me? right? But anyway, after the strip search, I've slowly come round and I'm a bit confused. But I've sobered up for the next 5 hours, complete sober. I've got dressed. So when I wake up after the strip search, I'm semi-naked. They've not even bothered putting a top on me, and they've cut my underwear off as
They've
well. My
cut.
underwear off. You have to watch the Sky News piece, right? So I'm sober for 5 hours, right? But just before the footage cuts out for an hour, somebody said something to me, and my memory recall, I remember being asked if I had anal sex before. And now I'm quite gobby. You can't shut me up. I talk a lot. Do you know what I mean? And I was wanting to go home, and I kept saying, why am I here? What, can I go home? Please let me go home. They weren't answering me. They were just like, drink some water, go to sleep. Drink some water, just go to sleep. But I'd only just come round from whatever, the strip search and the little period that I'd had a
And
nap.
can I just add, this was supposed to be a welfare check.
Yeah, so this is
So this is all. This is that's so ironic. It's
Yeah.
meant to be a welfare check, and then you've come into the cell unconscious. They haven't rang the ambulance. They haven't brought a nurse
No,
in
they
for
didn't
you.
know. They thought it was better to cut my knickers and bra off rather than
Then
get me
to get a medical attention. Yeah.
But the strip search, that isn't a strip search, is done for my safety. Guys, if you watch that footage,
It's
that
all
is
online,
a strip
guys.
search. All this is online. I've
Yeah.
had to do this for a reason, right? So anyway, I've sobered up for a period of roughly 5 hours, right? And just before the footage cuts out, I remember, and my memory recall, it says that I was, somebody's asked if I had anal sex before.
A police
right?
officer.
And I remember, obviously there's nobody else in the police, so there must have been a police officer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think so.
Yeah.
You know, so I've thrown the hot drink, but I wasn't drinking from the hot drink. I remember that what made me feel a bit funny was a glass of water, right? So anyway, so I've passed out. Well, I've complete blackout again. The footage cuts out completely for an hour.
For an hour.
Well, not saying blackout as in I blacked out. I mean the footage blackout. There's no footage for the next hour.
We're missing an hour segment.
Yeah. So 10 a.m. for an hour on the first day, 5th of February 2021. No footage. Anyway.
Come back at 11 a.m. Zayna is
doing all sexual stuff.
She's completely naked, guys. Bear in mind, when we first left her off the CCTV, she was clothed. She was clothed, she was sober, she was literally, you can watch this, guys. She was sat in the corner of the cell, you know, with her head down, and she's got the drink and she's throwing it in anger.
My behaviour started to change at that point.
We come back an hour later, guys. She's now completely naked again, acting in a very sexual manner, which, may I add, is a very, very common
after effect of date rape
drug. A very common effect of date rape drug. You start, you know, you get more sexually aroused, so then the rape is easier to be carried out. So you're acting in a very sexual manner. It doesn't make sense. You're naked again.
Right. I've already been strip searched, so I've not got anything on me. So how have I gone from like sober? Yeah, then just before the footage cuts out, my behaviour started to change, and something's made me angry. Just before the footage cuts out, and then I'm back in the cell, semi-naked, people, and my symptoms are the symptoms of the after effects of the date rape drugs type of thing, you know. Anyway, so this is carried on. The next day again, I think 1 p.m.
to 2 p.m.
Yeah, I believe it's 1 p.m. cuts out. And them 2 hours are the very footage that have become corrupted. What are the chances, people?
Surprise.
So let me just emphasize that I made the subject access request. Please Google it if you don't know what it is. In February 2021, GMP gave me the custody records in October 2021. They finally released the footage in February 2022. So the subject access request must be complied with within a month, kind of thing. Okay. So when I did receive the footage in February, I put it all into order because the delivery sent it in 1 hour clips. When I've put in order, I've realised I'm missing footage. So for me, when I've watched the footage, it doesn't take a genius in which hours it happened because of my change in presentation. So like I said, there was rectal and vaginal bleeding, right? So anyway, so since then, so all this is on, like I said, it's on
the news.
So if I can focus on the cover up, people, you are watching a cover up happen in real time, and I need your help to keep this going. right, I don't do social media really. I only ever went on TikTok
And
to
Twitter,
raise
yeah.
awareness. My next social media is kind of going to be LinkedIn. So, like I said, I'm older than the people that do
I don't even know how
TikTok,
to use
right?
LinkedIn.
Right, exactly. You guys probably don't even know. So, yes, I'm making me feel very old right now.
No,
But,
you're not that old, to be fair. You're not. No, you're not. You're not.
but, right. So, I need the help of the younger ones to put this out there because, look, it's likely you guys are going to get targeted by the rapey cops. You're the ones that go clubbing, you guys go drinking, right?
We're in our
Driving.
prime time, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
we're
and
gonna be
you're
at you to
young, and
target.
you're young, and yeah. So I feel like because I know what I saw in there, and I know what happened in there. They've conveniently the footage gone now. They're investigating it. Yeah, whatever. I don't believe it. I'm never going to get that
Can
footage
I
back.
can I ask you, Zaina, is there anything that could be put in place to make you ever feel safe in the city again?
Eh,
Like
Um,
anything that would make you feel remotely safe?
I won't drive in Manchester by myself because I don't feel comfortable. I don't like blue lights. It kind of triggers me
Yeah, it
still.
must trigger something.
Um, I don't like the uniform. I hate coppers. So do you know what they've deliberately done? So I did a protest in London yesterday, and the vehicle that I was put in was a van. So for me, I hate police vans. Right, deliberately opposite the protest, they put a police van there. Then I've got they
Just
weren't
patronizing you.
I was like, why have you done that? And then there's these. They weren't police. They were like, I don't know what they were. They weren't even PCSOs. There was some other, but they were officers that have come out of the police van, right? And they're coming up to me being dead patronizing. They're like, "Oh, Zaina, so brave of you to do what you're doing." But you could tell
Right.
that they weren't it sincere. You know, I'm not stupid, right? Not sincere. And they said, "We know you're going to be doing more protests. So do you want to give us your contact details, mate? Why would I want to give police
Why
my
would I want you
contact details?"
there?
And I said to him, I said, "Look, I'm not going to be funny. I don't need your permission to protest. I've not even done these protests.
It's
I've just
been, yeah.
intended them because somebody else has arranged them for me. And I'm so grateful that people are showing me support and coming out to support me after what happened.
We
Like, so,
believe you, Zaina. We
and I'll
believe
be
you.
honest, I had a bit of, not a bit of my like trauma response kicked in yesterday. So I've got somebody stalking me on Twitter. I don't get it, honestly. There's some girl stalking me on Twitter, and she's trying to like saying that I think she's got obsessed because she's got an issue with the police as well,
Yeah.
but her story's not getting the same level of traction. Now I get that. I completely understand that because I've not had my voice heard too. So she's taking it out on me. So she's wrote some really vile stuff, right? Really vile stuff about me. And I'll be honest, I blocked her, so I've not read the comments because I don't want to read the comments. I don't even want to watch myself purely because I cringe when I see myself talking. But anyway, um, she's turned up at the protest. So right, I'm at the London protest that was for me for solidarity towards me that was arranged by people, and I've got this crazy woman on Twitter that's been
That's
she's
turned
staring
up.
at me. Then I've got the police van there, and I've got these officers that aren't actually police officers. Don't know what they were, but they came out the police van, right? There. And I felt like it was like an ambush. And honestly, I got really upset. So you saw my speech
In
in
Manchester,
Manchester,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it was
Powerful,
good.
moving.
It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I got Tourette's in London because like my trauma response kicked
That's how
in.
much
I'm like,
bad it was.
yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's going to be a hard battle, but I need the public support to keep sharing my videos. So I'm going to repeat it one more time. Sky News, you can watch the entire allegations.
Channel
Channel 4
4
covered a small segment,
and the
but the
Independent.
independent newspaper took like how I felt. So what I said to them was, normally when people are abused, right? It doesn't matter who you're abused by, and even if you're raped, people have the benefit of knowing the identity of the rapist. I don't.
So you don't even have like.
They've lied. The custody records don't match the footage, so I can't even pinpoint.
Now again, guys, you can access all of these documents and all the evidence that we're talking about online with a simple search. You can see the documents that the from her custody arrest, like the report.
Yeah,
The times don't match up with any of the footage, the CCTV footage.
they
It's just
tried
lies on
to. They
lies.
created a crime as well that I didn't commit. So do you know when they said that I scratched an officer's head and face or
You
something?
knocked the glasses off.
No, the custody record said no assault had happened. So this is
Right.
they created another crime in the police station. Basically, they've been trying to silence me. So to
Yeah, of
silence
course.
me, they've been making stuff up. But I've been lucky because I've been collecting data via subject access requests. So everything that they say now, I've got a document to prove them wrong. But they've not got the footage or the data to prove me wrong. So people, I'm going to repeat to you. At some point during my detainment with Greater Manchester Police, I was drugged and sexually assaulted. Prove me wrong. Oh, you can't because you've deleted the footage.
Deleted the footage, which is just insane. Like that in itself is incriminating, though. You know what I mean? Because if someone like us, like just a regular person from the public, was to withhold some sort of evidence or delete evidence, you can get charged for that.
Look, like you two are sat in this room. So if I was crazy and I made an allegation
I'd
about
feel
one
unsafe
of you
being
two,
sat with
yeah,
you this close, especially.
yeah, but no, if I made an allegation against you two that you have assaulted me and you've got the footage there's a camera. You're gonna give it saying she's mad. Here it is.
Look,
we've not done it.
here's the whole interaction we had with her.
I promise you I haven't touched it. But if you then say she's like can't give it, and you've made me ask for 29 months, can't give it.
Like
and
what
then
you
when
got
the
to
media
hide?
gets involved, then you go, oh sorry, it's been deleted. Come on, people, it's a cover up. It's a real time cover up, and they're gonna throw me under the bus. And if they throw me under the bus, you might not care about me, but care about future survivors.
I was gonna say that's what I'm saying.
Future victims.
Because there was really no need for you to come here and absolutely put yourself out there in front in like the most vulnerable state that you could. And guys, also Zayna, you obviously come from Asian background and Asian culture, so even knowing that how like that would have impacted you coming out, but you still did it. So like someone wouldn't of someone from Asian background would never ever put themselves in this sort of position to lie. Right, what's your motive to lie? That you have no reason to lie.
The reason I'm speaking out and humiliating myself, like I said, when you Google my name and you watch all the footage that is out there, right? There's a footage of me where I look scary as hell, and I'm looking up at the camera like I've seen a ghost.
Pale, very very pale. I saw
like I've seen a ghost, like so I kind of look like a cross between. Do you know like that emoji where it goes like that? Yeah. I'm not even like the scary movie mask thing.
The scream.
Yeah, scream. Sorry. Yeah. That's the one, right? Sorry. Like I said, when I talk about it, trauma, I'm replaying the memory, so I get a bit confused. But I look like that. That was like over 30 hours I'd been with them.
So you was definitely drugged by at this point and also assaulted, 100%.
You've seen the bleeding footage in the cell. Where's that? That's not logged in my custody records. You see me looking down
and then
my
you
legs.
look up at
I've
the
got
camera,
a blanket. I'm naked.
And there's blood dripping
and
down.
Blood. I promise. I was, and they're gonna probably say, "Oh, she was on a period." On my medical records, it says it kind of like it alludes to injuries consistent with sexual assault. So let's recap this. I'm in hospital. Prior to hospital, I'm with Greater Manchester Police for over 40 hours. Prior to Greater Manchester Police, it was lockdown. I was at home alone for 2 days by myself. I didn't drug and rape myself. The hospital definitely didn't. Who did? And the people that I'm accusing have now said the file's been corrupted. But don't worry, public. We've got a forensic team on hand, and they're going to try to retrieve the footage. Mate, I ain't never getting that footage. Do you know why I'm never getting that footage? Because I know what's on the footage. And if I was going to get it, I would have got it
a long time
ago, right? So what they're going to do is like try to fool the public because they think the public are brain dead, right? Like they think I'm brain dead. Fool the public, we're doing this investigation and there's an inquiry and there's this and that and the other. It's a whole load of nonsense. I'm going to predict to you what's going to happen. They're going to come right back and saying after a thorough investigation we couldn't retrieve the footage. Like spoiler, it's guaranteed. No, I promise you that's gonna happen.
Now for me, it's not even the fact that you had to endure this whole entire experience, Zayna. It's the fact that in the city, in Moss Side, guys, in 1984, this already happened. A woman named Jackie Berkeley, exactly. Black woman claimed that she was raped inside Moss Side police station.
I don't know the name of the police station, but she was from Moss Side.
But it happened in Manchester.
Yeah, it definitely happened in Manchester.
So guys, how many years is that? That's over like, I don't know, 25 years ago, even longer than that.
It's wrong. It's longer.
Way longer than 25.
39 years ago.
39 years ago, guys, and we're still stuck on the same problem.
Yeah. So
that's even embarrassing for us as humans. Why are we not evolving?
Can I give you a new spoiler alert? So the guy that was accused of, well,
Raping Jackie.
Jackie Berkeley's in 1984. So what happened with Jackie Berkeley's? Apparently she was, well, I believe her, so I'm going to say it.
Of course, I believe
her because I know that's happened to me. So 2 female officers have pinned her down, and 2 male officers have took it in turns to rape her in a police cell, in a Greater Manchester police cell, right? Back then, they managed to cover it up, even though she had the support of the black community. They managed to cover it up, right? I don't know how they covered it up, like, because I don't really read into other people's story. But listen to this. This is the best bit, right? This officer retired, okay? So he kept his job. They discredited Jackie Berkeley's, like they're trying to discredit me, right?
And that
I
officer,
retired, and he's come back as a civilian officer, and he works for Professional Standards. And guess who my first investigating officer with Greater Manchester Police was? The man that raped Jackie Berkeley's.
yeah.
And I can't say the name because I've been told I'm allowed to. Well, I can't say names because then I don't have a case left. I've still got a case.
No, yeah.
So,
Do what you need
but
to
the
do.
thing is, Google Jackie Berkeley's. The articles are still online.
Yeah, I've read
Okay,
it myself.
right? Or I can send you the data, and
And
you
I could
can
post
send
it.
you can send it to your followers if they want it. Like
For
I said,
sure.
I've been keeping all this data, all the stuff that they've done to cover up. I've been retaining it. So every lie that they say, I've got something to counteract it. But right now, I need the public support to not let my voice die out, and not to let them cover it up like they covered Jackie Berkeley's story in 1984.
And the same alleged rapist that was accused of this rape is still working against rape cases.
In Professional Standards, the thing is,
So it's all just one big like jug, really, in it, because
there's something very
he's not
murky.
gonna let the next officer get in trouble for an alleged rape.
Yeah,
so the same way he didn't.
Yeah, so there's something very murky happening with Greater Manchester Police.
We've been knowing this. We've been knowing this.
And
This is
listen,
not nothing new.
look,
It shouldn't be new to you guys.
Natalia, who the right mind would like say that the police did this to them? It's scary. It's been
That's what I'm
There's
saying.
been times
That's
when
what
it's
I'm
been
saying.
scary. Imagine like you're by yourself and you're trying to tell everybody that this has happened, and everyone's ignored you. Everybody's believed me, right? So everybody that's met me in person and they've seen me, you saw me
Because your
earlier,
story
I was crying.
isn't anything like extravagant. It makes sense. Like for what happened in the situation you
I
was in, it makes
know.
sense. Everything is in order.
I know.
And even the hospital backed you up and said, "Listen, look, she went straight to the hospital, guys, after coming out of the custody cell. First place she went was the hospital. They said, look, we're not going to give you any drugs for your pain right now, because if we do, you're going to overdose." That's how drugged she was. And then they said, yeah, you're bleeding from both parts, and there's clear signs of sexual assault.
The thing is, my memory faded. So when people are under the influence of date rape drug, the reason people use date rape drug because it causes memory loss.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually start to regain I was having flashbacks and nightmares, but I thought I didn't come to the realization of what had happened till April 2021. So in April 2021 is when I started campaigning,
And then you moved out of Manchester, didn't you?
Yeah, when I realised I left Manchester, and I thought, I'm not safe here.
And of course.
Because they realised I didn't feel safe, because I've seen how low they can go. And my only aim is to warn other people, right? And can I just also say, right, there's some very strange people out there, okay? Right? Just please get this on the podcast. This is very important for me, right? There's some very, very strange people out there. I will never, ever, ever ask the public for money. So if you see any GoFundMe pages or anything like that, nothing to do with me. I'm not
and that's
after
one thing
money.
you're big on. You stand on that.
Yeah, I'm not after money. I'm just after you guys helping me raise awareness that currently Greater Manchester Police have been protecting sex offenders for almost 30 months tomorrow. So the IOPC, who are now investigating, aren't really investigating. They've known about my allegations before. And the reason I'm saying that this is like a collective cover-up, because what they're telling and releasing via their Twitter accounts or via the media, I've got data to prove that they're lying. But right, when the police rapes you, right, if it's the police that's rape you, who are you meant to report it to?
Exactly.
Oh, guess what? The police. I'm snookered here. Do you get what I mean? Yeah, the police investigating the police, and anybody that believes that the IOPC or the police watchdog or the information like is independent, promise you people, it's not. It's not. 30 months tomorrow, I've been battling all this.
So, Zaina, do you feel like if the footage, obviously, this can never happen now because the footage has been corrupt.
Well, they're saying they're trying to retrieve it, but I know they're never going to be able to.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
But if, say, from a miracle, we was able to re-get the footage and then justice was served and then the officers that did what they did, you know, got their sentence, would you feel like you got justice?
Do you know what makes me really happy, if I'm honest with you, right? I have no faith in the justice system because of what they've put me through.
100%. I never had faith in
what they've put me through. I've got zero faith in the justice system. So for me, what makes me happy is, right, when I started Twitter, like I said, I'm 38. I didn't really do social media. And I didn't have, I think I got to 7 followers and 3 of them were my friends. Do you know what I mean? I was literally talking to myself
You're
on
like
Twitter.
nearly 10,000 now.
Listen to this, right? And I've almost got 10,000 followers. My tweets are hitting anywhere from like hundreds of thousands, and my highest one is 6 million.
Oh,
6 million.
Is it?
Get it right?
Jeez, 6 million, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, and my friend's daughter said, "Oh, Auntie's like going viral." I'm like, really? On what? TikTok? I'm like, okay, I don't want to watch it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have seen it, you know, because I'm trying to raise awareness, but I won't actively go look for it.
No.
Because like I said, when I see the footage and when I'm talking about it, even though
triggering.
I'm laughing, I'm a very happy person, and I'm a bit of like a big kid. But all this has drained the life out of me. It took the joy of life out of me. And I'm trying to do this for a reason, people. I don't want it to happen to anybody else because
it was so degrading, so dehumanizing, so humiliating, so shameful, so violating. Like, of course, we don't want it happening to anybody else. It is.
But you know what? Can I be honest with you? Right? I'm over the shame. I don't feel ashamed.
But it's not your shame, though. It's not your shame.
I'm not even humiliated. But do you know what? When I was first pondering, because I was getting desperate, I'm thinking, there's no. It took me a long time to realize that the justice system is like the justice system, right? And it was a waste of time. And when I came to the realization, I came to a crossroads, and I thought, it's either now or never. If I don't speak out, this is going to happen again. And because I know what happened in there, they're desperately trying to shut it down. So they made up crimes that I've not even committed to like have me sent down. Do you know what I mean? But they didn't tell me that, right? But I've read the documentation. And I remember on the document they've created, so I think it's at 8 a.m. on the 6th, that says Zayna Iman's attacked an officer. But then you look at the footage at 8 a.m.
You sat on the floor in the corner.
There's nobody there. It was me. Do you know what I mean? None of their custody record matches their footage.
No.
And I'm sorry if I'm like kind of if it's hard to follow
don't
what
apologize.
I'm saying. Like I said, when I talk about it, it kind of is hard. It's a trauma. So like I said, what you're reading and what the official response is to my allegations, right? Take it with a pinch of salt. I know what they're doing. They've put me through this for almost 30 months now, okay? Right? It's always better I'm the victim in this, and I'm telling you that the police have covered this up.
Of course.
And everybody's known about it. Why would I take on all these people? I'm putting myself in a very vulnerable position.
You're stressing yourself out. You're losing sleep.
Not only that.
It's affecting your whole lifestyle.
It puts me in a very vulnerable position. I know their dirty secret. They're trying to contain their dirty secret. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
That puts me in a very vulnerable position. Now, you're quite young, right? You being from, do you know what I mean? Like certain people that are older and like from certain marginalized groups, so the black community, like that certain communities are marginalized, and they'll understand exactly what I'm saying. I never thought shit like this happened until it happened
really?
to me.
No, I've never been naive.
Honestly, I've gone down a rabbit hole, and I've seen I can't unsee what I've seen, and I'm telling you, just spread my videos just to show that like, what's happening? What's happening? Like, I'm going to stare. Which camera am I staring at? Yeah. Look at my face, okay? Look at my face. And you tell me that I'm lying.
But what would your motive to lie be?
Um,
That you have not
the thing
gained
is,
anything out of this.
do you know when you've been gaslit and stonewalled
You start
by,
to question yourself.
yeah, like, so they've collectively, like, tried to chip away at me, you know, like, and they've put me through the ringer. I can't put into words what they've done to me, you know. But I've got all the documents for it, by the way, people, right? I just can't put it into words because I'm not as dim as I look, and they've thought that I was stupid. But anyway, and I've come to the point where I feel like I've got nothing to lose because I don't feel like I have the same quality of life that I had before this. So it's with me every day. I go to sleep, it's with me. I wake up, it's with me. So for me, I feel like I've got nothing to lose by speaking out. What's the worst they're going to do to me now? You've already drugged me, you've already raped me, you already locked me up. And then when you finished with me, you've put me on like these fake ass sections and dumped me in a psychiatric ward, so incoherent that I couldn't even speak, but I managed to say rape. They put me on a drug-free assessment and they told me that I'd been drugged and raped. Okay, right? But they didn't know that I had been in the police station. Like, the level of cover-up that's been involved in, like, silencing me, I can't put it into words. Like, who would share such personal information for
And
no
footage,
reason?
you were literally
And
naked in the
all I'm
footage.
telling you, if you believe me, just share my story. As soon as my story dies out, they're throwing me under the bus. And even if you don't care about me, like I said,
Care about yourself, guys.
yeah, I mean, like I said, 30 months tomorrow, these officers have been serving. And if you think that I'm the only one,
You're
you're
dead wrong.
deluded.
Yeah.
So what I've explained to you and what you guys are going to be watching online, right? Imagine that was you. I guarantee you wouldn't come forward.
No,
You would think
no.
about it.
A lot of people don't.
Right, so if you, like, you've seen, you know the story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If that was you, you probably wouldn't put that out.
Yeah, not even for the sake of me, but for the sake of my family, for the sake of my friends, for the sake of my future. Every time you search my name up, that's the first thing that's gonna come up now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't care though. No.
Yeah, because like you said, what have you got to lose?
Nothing.
And Zayna, you're not just fighting your fight; you're fighting over thousands, millions of people's fights. Do you realize that? Like, people are literally saying, like, you're like, right now I'm fighting through you. Do you know what I mean? You coming forward as many people.
It doesn't have to be sexual assault. There might be something that you're going through, and I'm hoping by watching me do this and then see that the fact that the public have taken me into their hearts. Do you know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. I get the odd dickhead.
Yeah, of course.
Right? I get the odd dickhead. Oh, well, you shouldn't have done this and you shouldn't have done that. I don't claim to be a saint, but I didn't deserve
nothing
to be
that you
drugged.
did. You to be on
Nothing
cocaine
warranted
doesn't
that.
justify being
Nothing
raped.
does, right? And like you said, this is going to be with me for the rest of my life. I've put it out there. Once it's out there, I
Not your
can't
shame,
take
though.
it back.
Not your shame.
Why would I put... Oh, I'm not ashamed now. Do you know why? Because I'll be honest. Can I be honest with you? So,
of course.
because I'm going viral everywhere at the moment, I'm actually secretly enjoying this because this is my way of giving Greater Manchester Police the middle finger.
Let's do
Do you know
that.
what I mean? And the reason I'm crying is, like I said, it's just because when I'm talking about it, so when you read the story in the paper and you watch the videos and you're reading my tweets, I'm the one that's replaying the images. It's hard,
Yeah.
okay? But I'm a very strong person.
You are.
I'm not suicidal, or anything like that.
I was gonna ask you, how's your mental health? Like, genuinely.
Really good.
Really good.
Yeah, really good. Like I said, the only thing is I'm just sleep deprived. Like,
But you're feeling the love and support around you, though.
yeah, I've been on my own doing this
So
by
good.
myself for, I think Channel 4 was 27 months ago. Sky News was 29, well, this month. And prior to that, it was me up against these people. I was so scared. I dumped my own home and I ran to Sheffield, just so I was under a different police force. So you know what they try to do, because I was speaking out. This is how low they go, people, yeah? So you've met me now and
Mm.
you've spoken to me. You saw me give the Sky News interview just before I started on this podcast, right? So I've dumped my house in April 2021 when I got the memory back that this has happened. So because I hadn't sold the house, they thought I was still living there because I was still paying council tax, right? So what they did was got the Manchester mental health team to ring me to arrange an assessment. I was in Sheffield though, so this mental health team's around me. They go, Zayna, there's been a member of the public that's raised concerns about your mental health. I'm like, okay. I says, who's this? She goes, Greater Manchester Mental Health. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, is this member of the public Greater Manchester Police by any chance? Because bear in mind, sat in Sheffield at this
Yeah.
point, yeah. So I know it's Greater Manchester Police, and she goes, oh no, it's a member of the public. I says, that's funny because I'm
Yeah.
sat in Sheffield with a room full of people. Do you know what I mean? And that was scary for me. And then what I did was I put a complaint into Greater Manchester Mental Health because they wouldn't admit it was the police. I put a complaint in and I says, look, I was drugged and sexually assaulted in February, because I don't say allege. I'm actually telling you
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
did it. I'm not saying allege. I'm saying I'm
Yeah,
telling
you're not gonna
you.
say it
Yeah.
half-heartedly.
And I've been saying this since April 2021, people, right? So I've made a complaint to the mental health team and I said, look, I was drugged and raped in February 2021. April 2021, I'd left Manchester. So who was the member of public when I'm sat in Sheffield? And they've sent a letter to me apologising for the distress that they've caused and admitted that it was Greater Manchester Police that were trying to have me bloody sectioned. This is how low they go, people, right?
Wow.
Right? I've had no mental health issues before GMP, no mental
Ever.
health issues after, yeah, despite what I'm going through. Despite what I'm going through, right? So I'm just going to emphasize as well, the flashbacks and the nightmares are a natural response to trauma.
Of
It's
course.
not a mental health issue, okay? Right? So no mental health issues before, no mental health issues after. I'm so scared. I do not even have a GP since all this has happened.
Because you can't
I
trust anyone.
I don't go to the NHS. No, because if I go to the doctors and bloody, they'll probably create a fake record to say I'm a nutter. They're desperate
Yeah.
to keep this quiet. And the reason I've gone public, there's no way that they can undo the damage that I've done to their reputation.
Yeah.
No way.
They could try to
Evi-
silence you. They can't silence the public.
even though they've said that the evidential footage has been corrupted, everyone knows they're guilty.
That like I said
Do you know
before,
what I mean?
that
Yeah.
you know what I
And I'm
mean.
be honest, deep down, that makes me happy. So now I don't live alone like I used to live alone because I'm too scared to be by myself and too scared to
Again,
drive sometimes,
understandable.
right? Some days I can go out, right? So I stay with my friends. So sometimes they just check because they've seen me wake up in the middle of the night, and the with different ones I've stayed with, wake up in the middle of the night and just like wake up and with like in a panic, like because I felt like I was back there. And they said, you know, since Sky News has come out, we've been in the like peeped our head out. You've got this Cheshire grin on your face while you're sleeping. They go, it's dead cute. I'm like thinking. So it
Oh,
shows that I'm at peace. I know I'm doing the right thing. Do you know what I
you
mean?
are, you are, Zayn, and not just for yourself, but for everybody, for everyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then also a point that we missed. So what should have been, correct me if I'm wrong, as a 7-minute drive at the most, 10 minutes from your house to the police station took an hour and 26 minutes.
Yeah, because it was an hour and well, it was 1:59 when I was put into the back of the van when they've arrested me. But
You've not returned to the police
well, the
station
first
now.
time I'm seen in custody was at 3:26. So this is the footage they've gave me, yeah? Vehicle footage 1:59. But I'm not saying that I was drugged in the vehicle because I have no memory recall because I passed out.
But you
Yeah.
don't pass out on
My
coke,
memory is from the cell, right? So it wasn't the cell that I was in. I remember another room, okay? I remember being asked if I had anal sex. I remember the memories that I remember, and people I can't put into words. I've shared so much with people. I struggle to say what I saw. So I'm at desperation. I'm trying to say, Greater Manchester Police are protecting sex offenders. Keep yourselves safe. And know if you ever report an officer, right, they're going to shut you down. And this is what they've been trying to do for all these months. And out of desperation, I spoke out. So I'm doing a lot of good things. I'm safeguarding myself, but I'm trying to safeguard other people as well. So it's a win-win for me. And you know what? Anybody that's going to blame me, I'm sorry, but you're an enabler and you're probably an abuser yourself.
You are part of the problem.
You
You're
are part of the problem, and your opinions mean nothing to me. Purely because I'm quite thick-skinned. Do you get what I mean? So no matter what you say to me, it's fine. After what I've been through, mate, what's gonna affect you? Do you know what I mean? I'm quite a strong character, but like I said, it's been hard because I've been fighting to get my voice heard, and overnight it's been heard, but I'm under a lot of pressure to keep the pressure on, and I need everybody to work with me to keep the pressure on, because if I keep the pressure on, they're scared at the moment.
Yeah, remember
Trust
her name,
me, they're
guys.
scared.
Zayna Iman.
So Zayna Iman, just Google me, and I promise you, I'm all over. So and I'm apologise in advance for what you're gonna say.
It's horrid. Honestly, trigger warning, guys. It's bad. So, really and truly, Zayna, what could ever be done to give you some sort of closure? What would make you feel like justice is served? I'm satisfied with the outcome. What would it have to be? Or if it's nothing, which again, I don't think anything.
To be honest, like I said, I'm going to emphasize, if anybody sets up a GoFundMe page, it's not me, people. Do not ever part from money for me. There's people that are like jumping on the bandwagon because I'm popular. Right. I will never ask for money. The only thing I'm asking you to do is, and it's so easy, it's free. Share me bloody videos. Share my story far and wide, because that way they can't shut me up. Do you get what I mean? So I'm using their own tactics. So they've got a PR campaign against me to silence me. I need to help people to help me.
Of course. So that's what would make you satisfied, just getting the story out there, as much exposure as possible.
That's it. It's out there now. Fucking put it anywhere. Like, print the posters and put them on a bus stop if you want. Get the word out. I don't care. Like I said, I try not to watch it, and sometimes I have to, you know, because I'm raising awareness and it slips through the net. But I generally tend not to read the comments because people can be cruel and they forget that you're a human being first. But I know I'm helping a lot of people because at the protest, you saw it as well. The amount of people that came up to me to share their own experiences. Right, I've been abused. Nobody believed me. I've not spoken up. I'm so proud of you. I'm suffering from domestic violence, and you've given me the strength. Do you know, when I hear stuff like that, it makes what happened kind of think, oh, I'm actually doing something good now. You know, so I'm trying to turn a negative experience into something positive. But whilst I'm trying to do that, people have got dark energy coming my way, right? They're trying to shut me up because I know their dirty secret, and I'm letting it out.
In this moment of time, as we speak, 100 GMP officers are under investigation for sexual acts, misogynistic acts. So why would your story now be any different from all these officers?
Because
that are
it happened in police custody. It happened on police
premises, more time
right?
when they're off duty.
So it happened on police property, but it's because these people know how much data I've got. Right, literally everything that they're saying, I've got a document to counteract that. Right, so they've thought like. When I started this process, I didn't know the police complaints procedure at all. I was really naive, dead giddy and stuff like that. Like a big kid, really carefree and stuff. I've learnt the hard way. They've put me through the ringer. And like I said, do you know what? If I could have anything right now, right, just for her, I need about a couple of hours sleep just so I can get back into fight mode and keep campaigning. So I want to keep the campaigning going because I know by me, a lot of people are following my story because it's helping them with whatever they're going through. To the ones that are writing horrible comments and trying to discredit me, you can go fuck yourselves. Can't give a flying fuck because I know I'm doing something good, and the amount of love that I'm receiving from strangers.
Do you know you literally are representing the whole of the Asian community right now, and so many girls stand in solidarity with you because they have experienced the same thing, but because of cultural reasons they have been hushed and brushed under the carpet and told, listen, don't say that because that's going to bring shame to you family. And your family.
Honestly, I've had it like from all angles, like So I've got the police trying to shut me up. Then I've got, you know what I mean? And for one person, that is hard. But my heart, do you know, like, I'm going to give you some advice because I know your crowd's going to be younger, right? And this is something that took me a long time to realize. So, do you know, when you've got a decision to make and you don't know which decision to make, right? I tell you how you know which is the right decision when you don't have doubts, when you feel at peace with your decision. And honestly, people, I feel at peace with my decision.
And you should be, because you've done the right thing, Zaina. If you literally just stay silent, you would have just become another number, another number to the flawed system. You know what I mean? So,
and do you know why I'm speaking out on the podcast? Like I said, I can be more free and open, and I've got less restrictions.
yeah, of course.
And like I said, it safeguards me and it safeguards other people. Like, so say for example, right, even if you didn't believe me right now, yeah,
I believe you.
right, okay, but you found out somebody that you know is in Pendleton police station, you're gonna think, shit, what if that crazy girl was fucking right? Do you know what I mean? I've planted this seed. You can't undo that, people. And let me tell you something, right? So single-handedly, just me, yeah, I've caused more damage to Greater Manchester Police's reputation than anybody has managed to do in a very long time. My story went international, right?
Dubai, so Australia.
I've had messages from all over. I can't even remember. They can never undo that damage. Do you get what I mean? So even if I don't get justice, which I don't think I will, because they're trying to cover it up.
No,
I'm going to be honest.
Never say never.
I'm going to be honest. I'm never going to get the footage, that's for sure.
Because it's gone now.
Right. I've already done the damage now, but you've also got to remember, if I lose because everyone's forgot about my story, I'm going to be honest, I'm quite cocky. I think I'm going to win.
I think you're going to win.
I still think I'm going to win. But if my story gets forgotten, don't forget, people in Greater Manchester are not safe. There's sex offenders working here. And let me tell you, right, they could see you, right, driving by yourself in the car, pull you over, 2 officers, switch the body cam, arrest you for anything, make it up, turn their body cam off, right? Then try getting justice. Trust me, they're going to close ranks on you. And now I feel for the black community. They've been shouting this shit about this level of corruption for years and years and years, and the media's had this mad campaign saying, yeah, but they're responsible for knife crime and they're responsible for drugs and they're responsible for this. No, mate, the problem is the police. You're hearing it here. The problem is the police. Okay, the black community has taken me in, and they're the ones that are helping me amplify my voice. They're the ones that have done protests for me,
but yet they're labelled as the bad guys.
Yeah. And the police are the ones that judge and rate me. The irony of the situation. Do you get what I mean? So anyway, is that okay?
Yeah, no, Zayna, you did amazing.
I'm gonna be honest. I've had a hard day because since Sky News has come out, my phone's not stopped. Right, I've actually put it silent. I've done the amount of podcasts I've done, the amount of Zoom meetings I've done. Every night I'm not getting sleep. So it's not because I'm not sleeping because of this. I want to take every opportunity. So, do you know, I had the podcast booked in with you, but then Sky wanted to interview me. I'm like, last minute, I'm still in my pajamas. I'm not even ready.
Oh, really?
When I'm at home, I'm just in my pajamas. Cool, right? Yeah, so I was like, no, I've got to take it. I've got to hit them every angle. So all I'm asking you for, people, anybody ever tries to set a GoFundMe page, it is not me. Do not give anybody any money.
And that in itself, Zayna, shows that you're not like you're not benefiting out of this, because you could have asked for money, but you're not. Again, just to prove
just share my content and look, watch what's out there. It's not as if it's like pictures of me looking glamorous like a page 3 model or something.
It's horrid, guys.
It's horrid, and I'm begging you people to share it. Why? Because this is the way I'm going to beat Greater Manchester Police. This is how I'm going to beat the Independent Office of Police Complaints, the police watchdog, who are the ones who are now investigating, and they're lying and they want me to trust them. Guess what, Independent Office of Police Complaints? I don't trust you either. Right? Don't trust any of them.
No, of course
not. I don't trust any of them. So yeah, that's.
So just last question, Zayna. What would you say to any other victims that feel like they can't come out because they're scared, or you know, they're anxious, the shame of it, or they've just not been listened to? What would you advise them to do?
Do you know what? I'm never gonna, like, I'm an advocate now, right? Knowing what I know now, So at the start of it, I stayed quiet, and then I started raising awareness anonymously, not putting my face
Oh,
out.
really? Oh, is that how you started?
Yeah, I didn't put my face out straight away. I didn't want to. I thought, name, there's loads of people. You know, you can change your name. It's
Yeah, yeah,
fine,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So, and over time, I had to make the decision to like just come out completely. But for me, I'm an advocate for not remaining silent. No, but I understand. I also understand why people do.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's not for me to tell you how to do your journey as a survivor. You've got to do what is right for you and never feel ashamed, whether you want to stay quiet or when you want to speak. But if you want my honest opinion, people, fucking talk.
It's
Talk
true.
loud and
Cause
proud.
it,
Because if you don't talk, the abuse
yeah,
continues, right? So they've abused you, they go on to abuse the next person and the next person and the next person. You've got to make a stand. This is how it conquers. Now, I know so many people now. I've got like a little army of people that I know that have been abused themselves, and they're like, I can't speak out. I never forced them to speak out because their journey isn't my journey.
like that lady you told me about, but she's anonymous. So
It's not my
yeah, you
journey. Do you
yeah
get
you
what I
never told
mean?
me her name. She stayed
But
anonymous.
so some of them kind of, oh yeah, she's fighting her battle through me.
Yeah.
She's had issues with Greater Manchester Police, not rape. So she's rooting for me. She goes, Zayna, get the bastards. Get the bastards. They've because of them, my rapist is still walking free. They ruined her rape investigation. He went out on
Yeah,
a
yeah. She
date
told
and
me. She
stuff.
told me.
Yeah, so so she's rooting for me. So I don't know. Like, watch this space. As long as my story doesn't die out and you people keep sharing it, trust me, watch the shit that I'm telling you to share. There's a reason why I'm telling you to share that shit.
And now, guys, look at Zaina right now before you go and view the footage, and look at the different. You could tell you're drugged. You're out of it.
And I've been
You look
crying
like a
as well,
different
though, and I'm sleep
person.
deprived. No, but you know what? Just before that scary footage
Where
of
you
me,
looking up?
the
Yeah.
footage cuts out again, and you then see bleeding, right? And what I promise you, when I left that station, I was struggling to walk.
Struggling to sit
I
down.
was struggling to sit down. I've never ever felt pain inside the way that I felt. Not I know what they did, but I don't like to talk about the memories. But I physically can't explain that pain that I was in. Externally, you couldn't see it, but you could see that I was struggling to walk. And guess what, people? They've not given me the footage of me walking out the cell either.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
and they've also destroyed my custody shorts that they knew were my evidence because my face was being smothered with the custody shorts and they had some strong chemical on them, right? So the drug in, I believe, was water in a cup, right? That's what my memory recall says. And the shorts with a strong smell. And under date rape drug, right? I don't like, so like I said, trigger warning, you've already said it. You're compliant. It makes you compliant,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So if
yeah.
I said to you on date rape, I don't know, like dance around like a chicken, you do it. It's so bizarre.
Mm.
You kind of like lose all inhibitions, right? It, but then they got a point where I was like, no, enough. And that's when the shorts were used. And they're the only memories I'm sharing with you. I can't tell you the rest of the memories. I,
No, it's
and
fine.
but the thing is, I'm releasing stuff bit by bit. So what I have released and what I am saying isn't everything, but I've got to release it in stages because don't forget, these people try to portray me as a nutter, as somebody that's mentally ill, to discredit me. Don't let these people silence me.
You're
And
you're
yeah,
clearly very much. You have your mental state together.
yeah, mate. Have you seen
You
like
did the interview with
Sky
like.
News are my best mates? Like, you know, like they love me.
They
But
do.
honestly, when I'm not talking about this, but it's become my life now. I've got to do this, and I feel at peace doing it. Because if I didn't come forward,
It would have just carried on. I could have been the next person,
it's
or who
probably like,
knows?
don't get me wrong, it's probably still happening because they're still working, you know. But if I didn't come forward and highlight that this is an issue, nobody'd be aware of it. But don't forget, so mine happened in February 2021, and poor Sarah Everard was murdered in
20
March 2021, I believe. I believe it was a month after mine, weren't it?
was it 2022?
I'm sure it's 2021.
Was it? It's been like 2 years already.
I'm sure it was 2021. Or was it 2022?
I don't know. I don't know the actual
Okay,
dates.
right. Anyway, Google it. So which had Sarah Everard not have made the papers, people wouldn't have believed my story at all. But then, does it take a woman to die for people to listen that there's
Yeah.
a problem in the
And
police
it
force?
does, and it always
So
does.
I was lucky that I'm still alive, and like I said, the shit that I've seen, I can't unsee. Right? I'm gonna talk about it. I don't want that happening to anybody else.
100%.
And I don't care if people try to shut me down, because the people that are trying to shut me down, you're part of the problem.
Exactly.
So you should be supporting me and backing me. Just so even if you don't like me or whatever, or you're racist and you've got whatever, just imagine the other girls that have got had issues with the that very station are white.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what colour you are, they're targeting women. And believe it or not, I've heard, right? So there's instances with the Met where they've done it to men and boys as well.
Yeah,
Now,
no,
for
it
a
doesn't matter your
woman,
gender.
for women, it's easier to talk about sexual assaults.
For
But if
men,
it
it's
happens to men,
very.
it's even harder.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of men aren't coming. And a lot of it is about power and control and humiliation. So they think that they've got the badge and they can do what they want, because guess what? They're protected, and they are.
And they know
They're
that.
all closed ranks. And right now, they're closing ranks on me. And they got this mass campaign out, and they're trying to discredit me. But because of the media support that I've got and the public support I've got, I'm actually winning. Don't let me lose, because if I lose, this is going to happen to other people.
Enough
Thank
is
you.
enough. Enough is enough. Your story isn't the first
Thank
or the
you.
last. So thank you so much, Zayna, for coming and, you know, getting so personal with us and really taking us to the deeper side of things. And thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, you believe Zayna, guys. And like she said, make sure you just share her story. Keep saying her name. Keep reposting. Keep liking her tweets, retweeting. Any little thing, anything
And
will help.
never give anybody money. I will never ask for money.
Guys, don't be giving nobody money, guys. She don't want the money. She
I
got
just
no reason
want to
lie.
raise awareness.
She don't.
Just want to raise awareness. Greater Manchester Police are protecting sex offenders.
Greater Manchester
And
Police
the
will be coming for you.
IOPC, which is an independent office of police complaints, is not independent. So everything that they're pretending to do is not in my favour. They're still covering up, okay?
And we knew that. But yeah,
Thank
again,
you.
thank you so
I've
much.
got to
Thank you,
highlight
guys.
it. Thank you.